like one time my friend said that his mom used to go to McDonald's every single day and get a half unsweetened, half sweet tea, which reminds me of that skit from Tenacious D where he's ordering food at the drive-thru and he's like, "Can I get a half Coke, half Diet Coke? Because I'm trying to watch my figure, trying to lose some of the weight."
I have heard of people also doing that.
Yeah,
with soda.
Half Coke, half Diet Coke. Does that work? I feel like that doesn't work.
No, I don't think it does. Just at that point, just get the diet soda. Like, what the fuck? Because, to my opinion, diet soda taste is so overpowering.
Yeah,
like
it's a different flavor. It's a different flavor.
Yeah, when I was a kid and I would get like diet soda, I would immediately know that it's diet soda. So I imagine if you try to mix the two, you would just be like, it just tastes like diet soda. So at that point, you're wasting. Just get the regular fucking diet soda.
I don't know. Maybe somebody who's doing that, I'm assuming, is so addicted to soda at that point that they can tell the difference between a half Coke, half Diet Coke, or something like that.
Never catch my ass. There's several people I go over to their house and they have like diet soda, and I'm like, why? Like, just at that point, just drink something else.
It's like you wean yourself off of it if you're like addicted to it, right? I'm assuming that's a part of it. Or maybe people just like the taste better.
I know a lot of people that are diabetic, drink diet soda, but also.
Oh, you know a lot of people who are diabetic?
I do, yeah, because I have a white family, so. Believe it or not, Dane, I'm actually a white bitch who has white people in my family, and diabetes runs through white people.
It's running through my family like a fucking bull in a china shop.
It is.
It's taking them out.
It's like a plague. It's taking them out. It's taking them out. It's horrible. It's
taking them out one by one.
Stop it.
Yeah.
They get up in the fucking middle of the night and they eat like a couple of ding dongs, ho hos, and then eventually it happens. You know?
That's okay. Well, there's something for every family. My family doesn't have that with diabetes. They have that with heart disease. Sources say that I'm gonna fall over, clutching my chest, going.
Oh, I think my family also has heart issues and lung issues and diabetes. So it's like.
Oh no, your family doesn't.
So I'm blessed.
Doesn't have lungs.
I think they might have been cursed by like some sort of like some sort of like druid cursed my family lineage.
They should have returned the slab.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we should probably start talking about TF2 before people are like, "What the fuck?" Talk about TF2.
What? Are we talking about TF2? I haven't played that game in years, actually.
Oh yeah, you remember it has like the spy, the scout, heavy. He goes sandwich.
Yeah, it's the game like Overwatch, right? I've played Overwatch before.
Yeah, it's kind of like Overwatch, except like the porn.
Wait,
of it
no.
Like, really
I heard it's like Marvel Rivals, or it's like Paladins.
We can't. Yeah, Overwatch is so 2016. We can't even talk about that movie.
2006. You can't talk. Yeah, it's all about Marvel Rivals.
So
2006.
Yeah.
2000 late.
Well, I don't know. Like, introduce yourself. Your name's Vivian. I think the most relevant thing. The most relevant thing. Shut up. The most relevant thing is that you made spy videos. You made spy videos, right?
Dane censors women. Let me give myself a bit of an introduction. So, my name is Vivian. I used to go by Xenogene. That was my original username. I guess I still use it. I haven't uploaded to that channel in forever, but I upload to my secondary channel, Xeno Queen, which is just all shitty montages. I don't even do commentaries anymore. But at one point, I used to make videos about Spy. I still play Spy. I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
The goat is not washed.
No, you're still very good at it, and which is why I wanted to invite you for the first episode of this, because for people who are wondering what the hell this video is, this is just I'm making a podcast, sort of like, there's gonna be footage on screen of me playing with whatever we end up talking about in this video, just for your visual stimulation. It's kind of like Subway Surfers, but the point is we're gonna be talking about like every unlockable weapon. So ideally there would be like 100 episodes of this or more, but
yeah, you never run out.
I don't think it's gonna go that long, because if people have been watching my fucking channel, people have been watching my channel for long enough, they know that I don't finish any series. But I thought it would be fun to do this. Have a chance to bring on some guests and talk to people from the TF2 community that I want to talk to about stuff. And so the gimmick is basically I bring on somebody and we talk about unlocks, and I'm gonna let the guest pick the unlock. So what unlock do you want to talk about?
Well, Dan, I thought that we would talk about the most controversial spy weapon of all time.
The Dead Ringer.
No. It's every time that people use it, they always complain about how overpowered it is.
The kunai.
No. No, actually, what we're talking about is the Diamondback.
Yippee! Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah,
I already asked you before, but maybe in the future I won't ask just to keep myself on my toes. But
I like that bit though.
Right, yeah. So yeah, the Diamondback. But before we get into that, I just wanted to give people an idea of what's to come. I wanted to talk a little bit more about you because this kind of thing I think would also be an opportunity to talk to people from the TF2 community about themselves. Make sense? So,
well, I'm a Pisces.
Oh my God, I'm a Virgo. So, the videos you made,
wrapping it up.
I don't know. It's been so long. I don't know if there are people listening. I mean, obviously the TF2 community is very old at this point, but maybe people remember
I'm
Xenogene.
Basically, I'm on the wind. I'm like the sand has already brushed me away. All right, I'm ashes.
Yeah, like Ozymandias. Like
yes.
So
Amadeus. Amadeus.
I remember seeing your videos and I was impressed by them because you were one of the only people who were making videos at the time, TF2 videos, that was clearly inspired by movies. Which is something that you and I mean, we've become very good friends over the years. Movies is something that we've shared a common interest in for as long as I can remember. And yeah, your videos were basically just huge references to older movies, which I'm still not very familiar with a lot of older movies, but I was like, oh man, this person seems like pretty cool. Cause I at the time and still a little bit to this day, I mean, I try to work as many movie references into my videos as possible because I just like them. So
yeah,
I just wanted to ask what about movies interest you? I mean, maybe it's something that I haven't heard before. I'm sure I've talked to you about it before, but maybe you could just remind me.
Okay. So, as far as theater goes,
Shut up.
I don't know, just shut up. You're not allowed to talk. Anyways, let's move on to the next segment. But no, ever since I was a kid, I was obsessed with movies. I was specifically obsessed with horror movies because I think horror movies are easier for kids to kind of grasp because it's just
really? I feel like kids.
Yeah, because it's just like a bagul. There's.
It's a big goopy monster. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to grasp. If you set some kid in front of I don't know, fucking some super complicated movie, they're obviously not going to get the nuances. I'm going to sit a kid in front of True Romance and ask him what it's like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, obviously as a kid you're just there's a big bagul monster.
I suppose that's true. It's very straightforward.
Stop him.
Yeah, run away from Big Bagul. It's the same reason they like stuff like Scooby-Doo. You know? Yeah,
it's very easy. So as a kid, I got into the whole I was like, oh, I want to make movies because that seems fun. What a joke that is. But no, the idea of oh, you get to make a big monster and that seems fun. Mm-hmm. So from that point, I was kind of obsessed with a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, same.
And then that kind of
the behind the scenes stuff is super addicting when you're a kid because you're just wow. You don't even think about how this stuff is made, and then this whole world is revealed all of a sudden through these behind the scenes videos.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because as a kid, you kind of understand that movies are fake. I mean,
yeah,
but there is sort of this thing where there's this mystique behind it. I think film being such a huge thing culturally is kind of wild that nowadays people don't really look into it that much. But as a kid, I remember every single adult in my life knew a million things about movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, they hide a lot of that stuff now. I think you've heard about companies making these behind the scenes videos and they actually do visual effects on the videos about the behind the scenes videos or about the behind the scenes of the movies. It doesn't make any sense. It's they're almost afraid of showing too raw of an experience when making these things. I think I saw that for the Barbie behind the scenes spots, they were painting out green screens because they didn't want people to think that they used too many green screens for the movies because the movies being marketed as using a lot more practical effects and stuff because practical effects are like in. People don't want CGI and stuff. It's just kind of like disingenuous. I think a lot of that stuff is kind of lost its charm because, yeah, like I said, it's just what's attractive about it is how scrappy everything is, how everybody's just kind of like losing their minds, how hard it is. I mean, how hard it is what makes it impressive. So if you just like hide the difficulties and make it sound like, oh, we had a blast making this movie, it was so fun, like that's not interesting at all.
No, there's a lot of behind the scenes where it's just basically stories of the cast, which is it's fine and cute, but
yeah,
a lot of the times when it comes to behind the scenes, I want to learn about like the nitty gritty. Like when I was a kid, there are two specific behind the scenes things that immediately got me into filmmaking, which was a tape that was just it was about Tom Savini, and he was basically just like it was like a VHS tape where it was literally just all about him. He talked about all of his effects work on Friday the 13th, Dawn of the Dead, like all these like super cool movies where he did effects for them, and it was super interesting. And then the second one was, it sounds so fucking weird, but it was the How to Frame Roger Rabbit behind the scenes.
Right? Yeah. No, I've seen that one. That one's
because
really
that one is really cool.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea how much puppetry like they used in it to like mimic the things like. Obviously it's been talked to death, but like that one club scene where they have like all the puppeteers under the floorboards like holding the little platters where like the penguins are supposed to be, or the stuff on the string for the octopus bartender. Like there's just so much crazy shit that goes into how they like tied everything in, like using like models of the cartoon characters in order to make sure that everyone's eyes were connected. It was like literally those two behind the scenes where I was like, yeah, I kind of want to make movies.
Yeah, it's that movie in particular is insane because the cartoons, if anybody's never seen it, like it's like cartoons in the real world. It's kind of like what's a movie that's kind of like that? Space Jam, right? So, or I guess that's the opposite, sort of. But anyway, it's like Michael Jordan in cartoons, but it's cartoons in the real world. Yeah. So they're holding a lot of the times, like you'd think. So there's like little like mobsters in the movies.
Yeah, and they're holding real guns.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make any sense.
Guns.
Like, why would like that decision like makes it 10 times harder? Because obviously, if you're making a cartoon hold a gun, you'd be like, well, let's just have them hold a cartoon gun, and then we just like not have to worry about doing anything on set, and then later the animator would put it in. But like instead, they were just like, no, they're cartoons, but they interact with everything in the real world, including guns. So they have to be holding guns. So we have to make a floating gun that makes sense to where he's pointing it. And like make sure that it like works with the animation, which we can't see, and we can't even like predict how it's gonna look. It's so crazy.
It is crazy. There's one where they made this metal. It was like a steel puppet or something where it just had a singular arm, and it was for the scene near the beginning of the film where they hand Roger the shot glass. So when he's holding the shot glass, it's like a little puppeteered machine, and then the animators would obviously do sort of like, not necessarily rotoscope it, but cover it to where it matches the thing. There's actually a lot of little things that they did, like, because a lot of the stuff that was obviously film practical would get sent to Richard Williams and like two different animation studios. Like obviously it's a lot of animation, so there's a bunch of studios. There's like a whole fucking book about this that I read at some point. But sometimes if there's a mistake in filming, they would like animate something to like to match it up in post. Like there's times where if Roger was standing on his tippy toes, they animated it like that because for some weird reason, Bob Hoskins' eye line was different. So then they're like, oh, well, let's make Roger Rabbit stretch up against the wall to where his eye line does match with Bob Hoskins.
For some reason, Bob Hoskins wasn't as tall as a cartoon rabbit.
No.
He should have been a lot shorter.
No, I heard he's really short, right?
Yeah,
like,
but not as
really short.
He is really short, but then he's still, you know, a tall king compared to Roger Rabbit, who's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah,
but he's a cartoon, so he can bounce up.
He also has that effect of George Costanza.
Yeah, he is a George Costanza. He's a Costanza-like.
Yeah, where people are like, "Oh, that's the fat guy," and then I like look at pictures and I'm like, "That's fat." That's actually crazy that in the 80s and 90s that was considered fat.
I mean, I don't remember anybody calling him fat because I was probably too young. But I mean, yeah, the standards for what's considered fat has definitely changed over time.
Yeah, like both him and Costanza. Ooh, there's something else. I'll tell you that. fucking Seinfeld painting of him like on the fucking couch being all sexy with the black socks.
You have that above your bed? Is that what you're saying?
I do have that above my bed, yeah.
See.
I look at it every so often.
Yeah, I've got Costanza in the bedroom. I've got Hoskins in the living room.
Yeah, I have like the frame of him with his shirt off, wearing the pants.
Oh right.
Yeah, there's that part where like it shows off how like good and like how barrel chested he is, and like his nice like fucking square silhouette is in that scene.
You might think that I'm as hairy as that because I have a beard, but I actually am completely shaved.
Movies. Alan! You might think by the beard here that I'm all hairy down
That's
there,
like...
but actually shaved.
Shaved. That's from
Arnold Palmies. Who wants some Arnold Palmies?
Honey, that one has the vodka in it. Oh man, I've seen that movie so many times. So funny.
Yeah, as well.
Okay, well, I think we've talked about it. We've proved to our audience that we fucking like movies. They're like, yeah, shut up, we don't care. We want to hear about TF2. We're gamers, and we like games and video games, and we like shooting people in video games, first-person shooters specifically, shooting them and having a bead on people and pulling the trigger and seeing their life end.
Yeah, dim between their eyes. That's actually my favorite part about it. Like, actually, my legs start, like, I genuinely feel like my grip starts to tighten whenever I pull the trigger.
I start slapping my feet on the ground like a monkey whenever I end someone's life in a video game.
I show teeth aggressively like a fucking chimpanzee whenever I'm about to pull the trigger.
I slam the desk. I think, I don't even play TF2 for like the skill-based movement. Nothing like that. Nothing like the interaction between the community. I like killing people in video games. I'm an insane person, and
I'm on a list. I'm on a list already.
I am now.
If I wasn't before, I am now.
Now, they can't put me on a list because I said it was in a video game. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, the in Minecraft bit.
Yeah, but not in Minecraft. But not in Minecraft in TF2.
But not in Minecraft. In real life, if I see you on the street.
All right.
If you look at me funny. You should edit something where it's like skip to here if you want them to start.
Oh yeah,
I'm
gonna
put
those
videos where it's like skip the ads where it's like, oh, the ad's over at this timestamp.
Right.
But times it says skip to TF2 actual, like them talking about TF2 the wrap it up bit from Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean I'm definitely gonna put like timestamps. This episode is sponsored by Factor 75. If you're like me, you're always looking for ways to eat stress-free, stay on track with your goals, save time, and that's exactly what Factor does for me. There's no more spending hours in the kitchen, just heat in under 3 minutes, and that's it. Factor offers so many things. They've got a weekly menu with 35 meal options, so no matter what your diet is, you'll find something you love, and whether that's the Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or the Vegan and Veggie. And if you are more of a snacker, they got snacks too. They got smoothies, juices. They've even got breakfast options for those busy mornings. Factor just makes your life so much easier. You don't have to think twice about meal planning, grocery shopping, or cooking. Plus, they've got a ton of gourmet options like filet mignon, shrimp, and truffle butter. And these feel like restaurant quality meals, but just without the hassle. And trust me, their Gourmet Plus meals, amazing. Juicy steaks, the broccoli always tastes fresh and tender. It's like having a 5-star meal right at home. So what are you waiting for? Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50Dane to get 50% off, plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50Dane at factor75.com to get 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Don't miss out. Head to factor75.com and use code 50Dane to get 50% off and free shipping. You won't regret it. And thanks to Factor for sponsoring this episode. Now, back to it. And here you are. You skipped to the timestamp. Congratulations. You said, I don't care about that.
No, why would you?
We'll talk about Spy, though. Spy is a cute class, and he equips something called a Diamondback. It's a primary weapon. And actually, let me just to be sure. Diamondback Spy. Let me look up the stats. Let me refresh my memory. So it says it gives 1 guaranteed critical hit for each building destroyed with your sapper attached or backstab kill. So
yes.
But the negative downside is that it has a 15% damage penalty and it doesn't have random crits. No random crits. Oh no. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people would compare this to the Frontier Justice, right?
Yeah, but I would say that the difference between the Frontier Justice is your sacrificing something. The problem with the Diamondback is you don't sacrifice anything. Like,
right,
at
you're
all.
just doing it. It's almost like
It's all positive. Like
it would be
every
kind of
single
like,
part of it is
you know what it'd be
positive.
like if the Frontier Justice gave you crits for getting kills with your sentry gun, but you never had to destroy it.
But you never break it. Yeah. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah. Are there any unlisted stats? Because there are a lot of fucking like weapons in this game that have hidden stats that aren't listed. Do you know of any?
It's not like there's any like hidden stats.
There's just stuff that they don't bring up. Like, for example, for the fact that as opposed to the ambassador, it does not have any fall off on the crit.
Yeah, you can 102 people from across the map.
Yeah, which I think is probably the main problem that I have with it, is it's not consistent with the design of the other critting gun for the spy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when they reined in the ambassador, they should 100% have also done the same thing to the Diamondback, but they just didn't. I think it was an oversight, because the reason why I wanted to talk to you about the Diamondback is because not only was the Diamondback an oversight to Valve, I feel like it's also an oversight to spy players, despite it being the most overpowered primary in the game, hands down, like one of the most, like top 5 at least.
Okay.
It's barely used. Like I barely see any spy players ever put it in the slot, and it's definitely not out of like a morale thing. Like they're not doing it because they're like, morale. I don't want.
Yeah, like they don't.
Like they still use kunai and shit. Like they don't care about the morales, but they still avoid the Diamondback for some reason. It's so weird to me.
I have a theory, and I think that this is like kind of the debate that I think we might have. I actually don't really think that the Diamondback is that bad, because I feel like, so the footage you're seeing on screen, I recorded this like 2 days ago. I played for like 2 hours with the Diamondback, and I gotta say it's kind of hard to use, because like you have to get crits with it, and in order for it to work, and if you miss your crit, then you're just fucked. Like you can't do anything at all. And also, man, not having a full damage revolver when you're just like caught out is so bad. I'm so used to playing Gunspot. I love using the revolver. So like it's not even that, because I would imagine for most people the main bad thing about the Diamondback is that it's not the L'Étranger, because the L'Étranger I think just trains people's brains into like being used to how long they can be invisible, and they just like get used to it, and it becomes like second nature. And then if they switch off of that, they're just like, this feels bad. This feels like a huge downside for not as big of a general upside. And I think most spy mains would probably agree that like it's just not worth using the Diamondback, despite it being like on paper really good, just because the L'Étranger exists. And I think that in a way that kind of makes it not overpowered, because there's just a better gun for most spies.
This is so weird. I feel like you're putting me on the back pedal here. I think I got the rug pulled underneath me. The first person I've ever heard to actually admit that the Diamondback is kind of hard to use. At this point, I've just started to cope and realize that people just think spy is the easiest class ever, and that I'm like insane for complaining.
Do people say that spy is easy? I feel like it's the hardest class in my opinion. But I don't know.
People unironically told me that the Diamondback is just like a noob weapon, that like anybody can use it.
No.
But I'm like, half the time when people whip it out, by the time they get 2 crits off, they're probably getting steamrolled by the enemy team, because they think because they have crits that they can take on the whole enemy team, but they still have a lousy 125 health.
And here's the thing. I know that people are going to be watching the footage and be like, Dane, you suck at spy. I know I do. So I know that it's probably not the best like example to use, but man, like I feel like in most situations where I'm like using my gun, I would just much rather have another type of gun. And there were a few moments where I'm just like, yes, Diamondback crit. I killed him because I got Diamondback crits. It doesn't really come into play as much as I thought it was going to come into play. And I only played for a couple hours, so it's like whatever. I didn't really do a whole lot of extensive testing, but still.
The thing that's apt about its name, like literally like the Diamondback, is I feel like, obviously spy being an ambush class, I feel like the Diamondback is actually not the best revolver to use when you're caught out. It's actually the best revolver to ambush with, because the idea of you hoarding crits, like
Exactly.
Basically, don't let yourself be seen until you have like at least 5 or 6 crits to where even if you
Yeah.
miss the first one, like who cares? You have a whole fucking like clip of 102. Like you just
Right.
spam it at them and they're dead.
Yeah, the strong situations that this is strong in, I think, is when you're like sitting somewhere where like people don't see you, and then you're just taking pot shots at them, and they're just like, "What the fuck happened?" And then they just turn around and then they're dead because you just hit them with the second one. Like that's like probably the most effective that this gun can be, but I think
Yeah.
that how I was trying to use it most of the time when I was playing with it is using it like I would use any other revolver, which is like if I stab someone and like I get a like no reg or I miss a stab or something and then the person turns around and now I don't have access to their back anymore and I'm really bad at trick stabbing, so I'm not even gonna try it. I usually just start unloading with my like gun, and usually like you
Yeah.
can like 3 or 4 shot people pretty quickly with the regular revolver, but
Oh, 100%. Especially super up close. Like you don't have to worry about the bloom like whatsoever. Like
yeah.
just like literally hold mouse one and they're probably dead.
But with the Diamondback, if you have 2 crits, like usually that's enough to kill someone. But man, sometimes you just fucking miss because like it's kind of scary when you get caught out. I jump in my seat, I start sweating, I freak out. I mean, like
You
everybody
fart
knows
a
how
little
it is.
bit,
I fart,
yeah.
I let a little bit of gas out of my cheeks, like that, and then sorry, that was gross. The it's kind of the same
I'll
feeling that I
mention
get.
it, dude.
It's kind of this. It's the same kind of feeling I get when I have crits on Frontier Justice and I'm like, all right, here it comes. I gotta use these, and then I like flick unnecessarily whenever I finally have somebody in my crosshairs. It's like that on Spy, but times 10 because like you're in so much
We
more danger than you are on.
we call it the diamond choke. Is
Oh,
when
really? Is that a real
you
name, or
are.
did you just make that up now?
I just made that up.
Okay, we're
And I was
coining it.
100% gonna play it off like everybody else says it, but you caught me by the fact that you asked what the origin. I'm sure that somebody has said it too, but I
Yeah,
immediately thought about that. I'm like, the thing that I've noticed about the Diamondback is you choke
yeah.
so unbelievably much with it.
Hmm.
Because you think to yourself, "Oh, I have the advantage. I have a shit ton of crits," but every time I use it, the number in the corner that tells you limited, like it's basically telling you this is how many shots you have before like you can't do that much damage anymore. So it's almost like a time limit over your head. So now you're stressed. You're just like, fuck, I have to hit these shots or else they're worthless.
Yeah,
When in reality, it shouldn't be like that. Like you should just be like, oh, I missed my crit. Oh, whatever. I'll just fucking hold M1 at them until they're dead.
yeah.
Which can happen, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like I think I've always heard people tell me like, oh, like the Diamondback must have like a bigger bloom or something because I always miss with it. And I'm like, no, I think it's just that you choke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just pressure. Pressure's getting to you.
It's pressure.
That's fine. That happens to me. Happens to everybody.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But not to you, listener. You're perfect.
Yeah, you're based.
Yeah, I would say the weakest situations in which not to use the Diamondback is if you don't really get very many stabs that you escape from. If you're like more of like a suicide player who's just like trying to get the medic and like you're gonna go down swinging and you're fine with it, the Diamondback actually isn't very good. Because yeah, you're just gonna get 1 crit from it, and you're not gonna kill anybody with 102. So like, you might as well just not use it. It's much better if you're going if you can combine it with the like the kunai or even like the what's that one where you run fast? Run fast knife.
The big earner.
The big earner.
The big earner is the run fast knife, dude.
Yeah, thank you. Just for people to be prepared, I'm going to forget the names of weapons for the rest of this series. Happens to me all the time.
You're getting old.
The
You're
run
getting
fast.
old,
Yeah, I'm 80 years old. The run fast knife is good because you can just stab someone and run away, and then now you have a precious crit that you can actually use in like a controlled situation. And also the kunai is clearly good for it too because kunai allows you to have enough health to leave.
I think I told you, if I'm playing a match where I'm like, man, fuck these people. Like, not like I'm angry, but like I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this shit. I told you I have like a bastard loadout, which is Diamondback Kunai DR, and I literally use it for just the man. Fuck this match. I don't care anymore. Like, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like halfway through Barn Blitz, I don't fucking care. Like once you get past first and you're kind of like near the like utter end, like once you get to second, like that little like second, I love that there's so many barns in Barns Blitz. There's like so many of them.
Oh man,
there's 3.
You got to blitz through so many barns.
God, put all these barns around here. Like it's you like on second with like the drop down and all that. Like half the time, that point is so fucking dreadfully boring to me that I'll just like equip the fuck off loadout until they cap that point. And then that area on third with like the huge like fucking tower that you can drop off of, that's when the map gets fun again. So like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's so weird to say that at a certain point in the map just makes me pick a fuck off loadout because I'm just like, fucking who cares? It's the same thing with Barn Blitz last. Like half the time when I'm playing Barn Blitz last, I'm like kind of feeding.
Yeah, that
more than anything.
Yeah, that one's just a war of attrition. That point.
Yeah, so it's literally like the bastard loadout because again, it's so easy to just go in, get a kill with a backstab, and then just immediately DR away and be like, oh, I have like a little crit now, like for free. I got my crit for free with like no punishment.
Bye
I
bye.
get it for free. Bye bye. I get my free crit. Like,
and there's so many
free.
like little ledges and perches to stand on, like a little eagle or a sniper. And
100%, yeah.
Pot shot people on those points.
Especially with the DR, you can run in and sap as much shit as you want, and then like just DR away, and then maybe the engineer might not be able to save their dispenser or something. Like, even if you're just feeding, like the Diamondback with the DR, I think is by far like one of the best combos. In my opinion, because it completely
that makes sense.
Completely negates any negative.
Yeah,
like it's just every single thing that you're worried about. Where it's like, oh, what if I lose these crits because I die like an idiot? DR. It's like
fake die,
fake die, no real die.
Yeah,
just run to the pack and hide there until your charge is back up, and then appear out and be like, hey guys, I'm back again.
And this time I have 102 damage per shot. Bye-bye.
Yay! Like it's 100% like just it is definitely like a feast or famine kind of weapon. Except for I think that famine is like barely a problem. I feel like most of the time this gun is like a net positive.
Yeah, for good spies, which is why I wanted to ask you. Do you think that it's a high skill based weapon? Like, would you call it that?
I think just the class of spy is a big skill. It depends on what kind of lobby you're playing. Like, I've seen people use it with the Ur.
Yeah.
Which, like, a lot of people would be like, what? Why would you ever use anything else besides the L'Étranger with the Ur? And it's like, well, because easy chain stabs. And then you literally have 5 crits by the time that anyone goes, wait a minute. That heavy. There's something about that guy. I don't like him.
Wait a tick. He's like looking at me.
Wait a tick, I had 6 members on this cart. Wait a minute, now only the heavy is left.
Raise his finger.
How peculiar. Yeah, raise his eyebrow and finger. I must conduct further investigation.
Spins around, drops trow.
What?
I would call it a pub stomping weapon in the same vein as like something like the Eyelander. Because like you just farm noobs basically, and then you punish the people who are not noobs with extra damage. It's very much that kind of like gameplay loop.
You got the diamond choke and you got the diamond noob.
Diamond.
Which way, Western man? Diamond choke or diamond noob?
Oh,
which way, Western man?
I'm sweating over that big red button meme.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you call it a straight upgrade? Because that's another phrase that people like to throw around whenever they're like quickly dissecting weapons. Straight upgrade.
I know I said that it's one of the best primaries in the game, but I might have been a little bit overzealous in saying that because in reality, I think the Diamondback and the Ambassador are just pure side grades.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think it gets a little too much hate for that reason. I think it's fair to say that it's an annoying weapon to play against. And
but Spy is also annoying to play against. Like I hear people go like, "Oh, well, how was I supposed to know that he has crits?" And I'm like, "Well, it's Spy. You're not even supposed to know that he was there to begin with." Like the whole idea that people complain Yeah, people complain about its ambush potential. Like they're just like, "What? Like I didn't even know that person was gonna uncloak behind me and have like tons of crits and kill me." And it's like that's the class. Like you're not supposed to know when he's coming.
Right, yeah. And ideally, you would have some sort of retaliation opportunity, which I think like is why if I were to still change, I don't think that it's like something that needs to stay the same necessarily. I think the only thing that needs to be changed about it is make the crits have fall off like the ambassador, because the most annoying part of it is what made the ambassador annoying and why it had to be changed is because if you're getting shot for 100 damage and you have no idea where it came from and you're like turning around as you're supposed to do against a spy, turning around is supposed to be the play to counter a spy, right? But that doesn't work against the Diamondback if you're using it effectively. I think that it should do less damage at longer range, but people don't really use it that way, so maybe that's why it's not really hated as much. Well, maybe that's not why it's used as much, I should say. It's because people don't really think about it that much.
I definitely use Diamondback in NG stacks. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That would be a good place to use it as well. If you're going to have a lot of buildings to sap, a lot of
there have been times that
I've
played. Yeah, there have been times that I've been playing casual where I'm like, there's like 3 to 4 engineers on Upward. And I'm like,
sorry to hear that.
And I like pull up my pants and I just go, "Yep, it's Diamondback
time." It's good in 1,000 Uncles. It's not good. I'd say it's fun because obviously being undisguised against like 40 engineers isn't a great idea, but it is fun to get like 50 crits and then like I don't know, stand outside their spawn.
Uncle that's like that's out of position. That's like trying to, like, you know how like sometimes you'll have the uncle bot that's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna put a sentry on the flank," and you kind of watch the flank and he's just like by himself and you kind of like lick your lips.
Yeah, you lick your lips and you rub your tummy.
And you rub your big tummy and you're just like, "What are you doing around here? What are you doing around here?"
Yeah, you look pretty good.
Hey, to be honest, you look pretty good.
You look pretty good to me.
You look pretty good to me.
The thing I was doing on 1,000 Uncles with the Diamondback was I would just like sap a whole bunch of buildings or stab a bunch of engineers with the Ur and get like 20 crits, and then I go. This is on Dust Bowl first, like Dust Bowl stage 1 first point, and after collecting all of those, I would go to the second point, and you know how like engineers just like kind of walk out of spawn and go like through those tunnels. On the way to those tunnels, like I would just sit on the second point and just like, I don't know, aim train basically. Like it was just like a fun little pastime for me when I was playing spy on that mode. It's just like, I don't know, getting a bunch of those Diamondback crits and then just sitting back and just unloading them, and the engineers would fucking freak out.
Yes.
But that is kind of an extreme version of what I think you should be doing with the gun in casual. But I don't really see it happen that much. Most of the time I see someone with a Diamondback, they're right in front of me fucking shooting me, missing, and then they explode. They fall over.
Yeah, I would say I guess there are some people that are hoping for a tip.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I'm not going to tell you like, "Oh, get good, Scrub Lord, like aim better," but when you're using the Diamondback, be very mindful of the bloom, okay? Like, think about it as an ambassador that you don't have to aim for the head. The rule for the ambassador is if you have auto reload on, you know, like anybody that's smart, if you're out there and you don't have auto reload on, go to your advanced options and immediately fucking put it on. A whole new world will be open to you. You'll be over the rainbow.
There are some people who know that, but they choose not to put it on.
Which I think is weird, like, but whatever. I guess some people are like, "Oh, I don't want someone to do it for me," whatever. Anyway, but point is, if you're someone who's a stable individual who has auto reload on, wait for the loader click, like the speed loader, like the same thing with the ambassador. That's always been the rule of thumb: is fire. Wait for the speed loader click, then you get the crit again. That's the timing. And it's the same exact timing for the Diamondback. You wait for that speed loader click, and then it is 100% like it's accurate again. It's about as best accuracy as you're going to get. It's just like as if it was neutral. So I know,
but here's the problem.
What is the problem?
I'm leaving a comment right now. I'm saying, Vivian, I would do that, but I can't hear the speed loader click because I have my volume turned all the way off and I'm listening to Weird Al at full volume.
Okay, if you're listening to Weird Al, preferably the song about truck drivers in high heels, keep it up. You're doing great.
I guess my
timing,
question
you could.
My question is that is there a visual like indicator?
Yeah, that's why when I said the speed loader click, because you know when you reload your revolver and he like kind of like puts the speed loader in, like obviously the bullets aren't visual because there's this weird reload thing. Like everybody knows that that's a thing, but like obviously when he's pulling out like the chambers and then he puts the speed loader in, that's the visual timing. So the click is the audio timing. And then when you see Spy's kind of like thumb come up or like just like that little hand come up for the speed loader, that's the timing as well. So that's the visual.
I just had a brilliant
idea.
If
you're listening to Weird Al cranked all the way up, that's your timing.
Yeah, well, I just had a brilliant idea. It's to listen to Weird Al at full volume, but the other idea was to I wonder if there are people who have made like custom first person V model animations that make that timing much more clear. Like you could probably animate like a literal fucking clock and a little timer that like a little circle that fills. That would be kind of like cheating a little bit, but I think like people will go out of their way to do things like that. I mean, it has to be maybe not, I don't know.
I remember there was somebody that was trying to make a HUD where the crosshair would change colors when a backstab is available. And I immediately said out loud, like, I was like, isn't that kind of like cheating a little bit? Like, obviously, it still requires like human timing.
Yeah, reaction
stuff, right?
speed. Sure.
But to me, there's like some part of me where I was like, I don't even know if that's, first off, I don't think that's possible. Second off, that straight up just might be kind of cheating.
A little bit. It's the same.
It feels a little cheatish.
It feels the same amount of cheatish as actually, I don't
Metal Footsteps.
I don't have a good example. Oh, yeah, changing some of the sounds. That's a good one. I like changing like
If you're someone that has Metal Footsteps on, I mean this in the most humane way ever. Rethink your fucking life. If you have Metal Footsteps on, spies are the last thing you should be worried about. All right, because I'm coming.
Yeah. You should be worried about me knocking on your door.
Fucking house. Yeah, I'm coming to your fucking house.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Metal Footsteps for everything. Yeah.
People that use Metal Footsteps, you're evil. Like straight up, you are actually fucking evil, hands down.
They're laughing evilly at hearing this information. They don't care.
I know, and the gates and the pearly gates of heaven is not for you.
You will be judged.
Peter will turn you away. You will be judged.
You will be judged at the pearly gates.
Come Judgment Day, you'll know who you are. God will sort you out.
And this is a threat. And this is a threat from.
It is a threat
from God.
If any federal agents are listening, this is very much so a threat that I take very seriously.
I already said how I would change it. Would you change it in any other way? Would you give it some random crits or something?
No random crit thing is so dumb. It's like basically the Band-Aid. Like Valve really thought that was the Band-Aid.
I mean, it makes sense. I think that the general like philosophy is that if it gets situational
like
crits,
guaranteed crits,
then it should not get random crits. I mean, that sort of makes sense. There's some things that don't adhere to that, but most of them do. So it makes sense with their balancing philosophy. But is there anything that you would change about it that I didn't say? I only said one thing.
I agree that I agree on the range. If you want to be absolutely evil, like I might. Like if you want to be like an evil bastard, twirling your mustache, and you want to absolutely hit this weapon with the biggest Nerf hammer of all time to where no one even looks at it.
Yeah.
Remove on backstab.
Oh, right.
Just make it an anti-engineer gun, which at that point, that's the harshest nerf I can think of. Hands down. That's the harshest nerf. Like, I'm not saying that it needs that, because that would be
I was going to say, I was like, is this what you want?
Up.
Is this what you want for the world?
No,
I mean, like,
no, not at all. I'm saying realistically, I want the fall off, like the ambassador.
Yeah. But
I also want the maximum range on the ambassador to be fucking removed. All right, I've said this. Why is there both? It's so dumb.
Yeah, That's another thing to bring up, is that if they're going to like make the Diamondback consistent with the Ambassador, then they should probably make the Ambassador a tiny bit better also, and then make them both the same. But that's a different weapon for a different day, maybe. Maybe we'll have you back on to discuss the Ambassador. But the maybe. I was thinking about blocking you after this, actually. But the
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think that generally people would agree that like it needs to be consistent with the Ambassador, and that's pretty much it. I mean, like, I don't know. It seems like maybe this gun gets complained about, and yet people don't seem to have a very good idea of how to make it not unbalanced. So I think that people just kind of say that it's unbalanced without actually giving any like good reason for why they think it's unbalanced. They just think it's annoying, which is fair. I mean, Spy is kind of annoying to play against. What are you going to do?
This is something I've heard like forever since I even started playing Spy, which was the Diamondback rewards Spy for just playing the game.
Yeah, for existing.
Which can be said true about like a lot of things. Like, I mean, literally the whole idea of random crits in casual rewards you for existing.
Yeah, just shoot enough rockets down a choke, eventually you'll get one.
Like, there are tons of weapons that reward you for fucking existing. It's a thing. Sure. It's a thing. It's not the only one.
But it doesn't, I mean, like, I don't know, it's just kind of not as, this is personal opinion, I would say it's not as fun to use as other guns, which I think might influence people's choices when picking a loadout, which is why you don't really see it very much. I think that people are just like, yeah, it is good, but is it fun? And that matters, I think, to most people more.
I will say this. I think I have more kills on my L'Étranger than my Diamondback.
I think that might be true for me as well. I think that might be true for a lot of people who have strangers of both those guns. I mean, unless you're a huge Diamondback fan. If you are, comment below, because I don't think I've ever heard of a huge Diamondback fan. I have.
There has to be. There's somebody out there that's like named like fucking Diamond Jack, and it's like his main thing.
Diamond Jack. Holy crap.
Diamond Jack is back.
Diamond Jack, back to the shack. It's Diamond Jack.
Diamond Jack.
Oh, this doesn't have any reskins or war paints, which is kind of disappointing. But I suppose it's probably because it's from Ex Machina, that game. Or what's that called? Deus
Ex Human Revolution was the collab.
Yeah, and those weapons are kind of immune to being fun.
Yeah.
or made.
I don't know. The Widowmaker is like fun.
No. I mean like visually fun.
Oh yeah, no, they're boring. They're boring tech weapons.
Yeah, I don't really. They don't really make sense for the visual art style of the game, but whatever. It's fine. I don't really care that much about that. But I would like for there to be like a cool reskin of it. Can you think of anything that would like be cool? I don't know if you're like into guns, like if you know of any like cool.
I am. I always thought about you know how the Frontier Justice has like little robot parts connected to a regular shotgun? It's like why don't they do the same thing for the revolver? Like it's like a regular revolver, but it kind of has like those little wires into it.
Right.
That way it fits in. Again, I'm not someone that obviously cares about the art style, but I will admit something. A huge reason why I don't use the Diamondback is because it's ugly as sin. I was hoping that we would get to this point because I think it is one of the ugliest weapons in this fucking game.
It is so gross.
It's so unpleasing to look at.
I totally agree. I think
this gun is in desperate need of a reskin. I've been looking for mods on Game Banana that change the visual of this gun, and nobody has made one yet. And I'm like, please, out there, somebody I swear to God, somebody please make a really cool reskin of the Diamondback. I'm sick of looking at it, all right? It's the fucking ugly duckling of revolvers. I'm sick of looking at it. Get rid of it, all right?
Yeah.
Get fucking rid of it.
Somebody should make like a Desert Eagle reskin. Or something.
It's so fucking stupid, like straight up port from Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Like when you pull it out, it has like the T or CT gloves too. Like it completely looks like
completely
you just like
different game.
Like, yeah, it looks like you matted it in.
Yeah.
Like for a video or something. Like you just masked it in.
Yeah, for sure. That has to be real. I mean, that's such an it's a source game, so I feel like it might be a really easy thing to transfer in.
Yeah.
I have a little note here to look at the trivia on the Wikipedia page, because I always think that the trivia on the Wikipedia page like is really hit or miss. You ever go on IMDb and like look at the trivia from movies, and some of it is like really interesting, and then you scroll down to the bottom and it's like the most obvious shit ever, because it's all like people just submit it. It's not really like maintained by anybody, but you can see how many people find it helpful. It's basically just people give it upvotes.
Yeah.
There's often some I have it on my like list of like random video ideas to make a video like making fun of some of the worst like IMDb trivia, because it's all very funny. It's like in Die Hard or something, they'd be like, Kevin McClane like is a cop or something. It's just like something that like is so not
You know
trivia.
what's funny? I just remembered that the gun used to not have backstabs gained.
Wait, let me look at the update patch history.
Didn't it used to be like?
Yeah.
Didn't it used to be like fucking different? I thought it was literally just sapped.
It was.
And that was it. There was no backstab. I think I remember that.
So yeah, it was added in 2011, in August of 2011, and then 2 years later, so like for 2 years, it only got crits off of engineer buildings. Wow. I totally forgot about that.
We did get a game. So we did get a game with it, and apparently it was bad.
Yeah, apparently it was really
so bad that they had to add backstab. However, I will say, not to diss on people playing back in 2001 and 2013, but they are clearly not on the same level as they are now. They're still probably playing with like ball mice and shit.
Over time, people get better at games. I mean, that's why Sniper has suddenly become a talking point, is because people just get better at games over time. They used to be bad at the game.
Yeah.
Crazy. There's only 2 entries for the trivia on the Diamondback. I'll just read them. I've never read those before, so I don't know. Maybe they're stupid. Maybe they're cool.
Okay.
Diamondback's design in Team Fortress 2 resembles how the Diamondback 357 looks when it is upgraded with a laser sight and explosive rounds instead of its default unmodded appearance. Dude, that's really boring. I don't care about that. It's basically saying it has an element from a gun that is real. Okay. People go on TF2 trivia for Diamondback and like add some interesting shit.
Like, yeah, some shit that actually, I think the bugs section is by far my favorite of any TF2 wiki.
Oh,
because it is really interesting to see like what
bugs.
is fucked with certain guns.
Like all of Spy's secondary weapons, except for the revolver and the Enforcer, the Spy does not actually put any bullets into the cylinder while reloading.
That's what I talked about earlier.
Yeah, that's a cool little.
That's what I talked about earlier.
I'd consider that like a trivia. That's like a trivia bug.
That is, yeah.
But I'm sure that people have made like custom ones that add it back.
Yeah, there was actually recently TF2 was like saying like, oh, add fixes to TF2 in the workshop, and I voted for one that added the speed loader bullets, like actually brought the bullets back. So I voted for that. I don't think it got added in the game, which is a shame. Bring the bullets back. Hashtag, guys, hashtag bring the bullets back 2025.
I'm gonna march in the streets. The crit counter overlaps the cloak meter when using the middle HUD advanced option. That's a cool fact. Let me see if there's anything.
Is it?
No, I was being sarcastic, and I'm glad you caught on to that. Because I said like /S at the end. That's how you know.
/sarcastic.
I'm so sarcastic. Sarcastic's like my second language.
You would put /J, I think, for /joking. Because serious is
I use
/SRS.
Oh, well, wait, no, /S is sarcasm, isn't it?
It might be. I don't know. I always saw like.
Because I always do /J for jacking off. Like if people want to know that. Hello,
guys. I'm reading this message /J jerking off. Like you put that in brackets right next to it /J in brackets jerking off. I'm looking into this /J brackets jerking off.
Do you have any good stories of using it? Like, are there any cool like things funny things that have happened? You record footage and review it occasionally. So are there any like good Diamondback moments?
I actually have no good Diamondback clips because I use it very sparingly.
Right.
I rarely use it because I'm one of the people that put way too much real estate into the ambassador. Like I spent so long practicing headshots with the ambassador that at this point it's just like a sunken cost fallacy why I even still use the ambassador. Like I'll only use the ambassador really on your servers.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously there's no random crits, but if I'm playing casual, I'm just going to use stock.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And maybe the Latron J, if that. But when I do use the Diamondback, it's like we said, usually it's an engineer stack. And a lot of the times that I have some good stories about the Diamondback, is when engineers stack, it's really hard to get rid of all of them because they're kind of like ants.
Yeah, they can help each other build. Like, the more there are, the harder it is to, like, keep them down because they all work together.
Yeah, they have 2 modes, which is either repairing the sentry or they all run at you swinging their wrench at you, which eventually one might crit and kill you, but that's besides the point. Like, a lot of the times when people talk about, like, going for backstabs against certain characters, they talk about, like, anchor points, which is the idea of where they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite thing about using the Diamondback against engineers is in their mind, they sort of have jobs. I'm the engineer that repairs the sapper, and I'm the engineer that runs at the spy with a shotgun or the wrench.
Mm-hmm. Like
ants. They allocate
like there's
jobs.
the worker ant
like
and the other ant. I forget what
exactly. That's why I said they're like ants. So yeah, they're like, I don't know, the fucking.
That'd be funny. Like, it'd be funny if there's a documentary of fucking David Attenborough. He's like, the worker ant and the other ants work together.
I don't know what they're called.
don't know what the rest of them are called, but they basically look the same. So who cares?
Like they are inside and the other ones are outside.
Does that make sense?
I don't know. I'm fucking tired.
I'm 102 years old.
I'm tired. Stop asking me. Why don't you look it up? Why don't you fucking do some research? Why don't you do this work?
You figure it out.
But yeah, so the idea is that
stretching.
So the idea is that if you So if you can get rid of the one engineer that's after you, you have a pretty good 102 to immediately use to attack the engineer that's just going after the sentry. Yeah. And if they're just obviously stock engineers, you hit them with 102, they have pretty low health. Like, obviously, if they're using the gunslinger, they might be a little bit goobish. That is actually a funny thing that we talk about this. Shout out to gunslinger engineers on defense. I hate you. Because half the
looks left, looks right.
Because when I'm fighting with stock revolver, in my mind I go, oh, they only take like a couple of shots and they're dead. No, you take more fucking shots than anyone needs to, and I hate you. Like, when I use the ambassador, I always just jab headshot, and it's an insta kill. Mm-hmm. Not for fucking goddamn gunslinger engineers. And it has killed me more times than you can fucking imagine, because I go, okay, I hit him with 40 with the knife, time to hit the headshot. You hit the headshot, not enough. Yeah. And then I just go, I see that robot arm, and I go, fuck. Yeah. And then I usually die.
Gunslinger on top. Gunslinger goat.
Gunslinger on top. That's the You thought there's a video about a Diamondback, it's actually about that gunslinger.
And we're going to talk about the gunslinger for about 40 more minutes.
Rug pull.
You thought you were clicking on this video, but it's actually this video.
And you want to know that's something that's funny? The Diamondback has horrible synergy with another anti-engineer weapon, which is the red tape recorder.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like you think that they would work in tandem because they're both like fuck engineer, but you're not destroying anything. So it's very interesting that both the fuck you engineer weapons don't work together.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it would be too powerful if it was like good together. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Spy's already kind of a soft counter to Engie, so I don't know how many more fuck you engineered weapons they need, but I think it could be completely biased, obviously.
Every class has a fuck you spy weapon. But Spy is the only Spy has a fuck you every class weapon. It's called the knife. Kills you. Yes. What about if they're overcharged though and they don't get backstabbed?
No, but if they're jumping and you backstab them, you can make them fly into the pit.
You can do that. Oh shit, you might be right. Fuck. I guess I was owned in the marketplace of free ideals.
What is this gay Beavis and Butthead character?
I don't fucking know. It's whatever.
Just made up. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm fucking spitballing here. Why are you on my case, man? Why are you always on my fucking case?
Okay, well, I didn't want to bring this up, but you've been really pissing me off lately. You slurped your tea into the microphone. It really set me off, and then two, just the fact that you I don't know, were breathing. Do you have any good do you use a name tag on your Diamondback?
I do.
Or description? What is it?
I do.
Do you want to reveal it?
Inventory reveal, all your secrets bare, all your secrets bare. We're showing your new.
We're pulling down your pants. My God. We're showing your bare ass cheeks.
We're showing your bare ass cheeks. Wait, Vivian side boob? Vivian side boob?
Oh my god, put that in the thumbnail.
Sunbathing? I caught this bitch sunbathing. Side boob, side boob, side boob. But no, I usually name all of my weapons after like song names or artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they used to have it they used to all have like an overarching theme where I'm like, oh, they should all be like jazz songs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I decided, fuck that, who cares? So I ended up naming my kunai Von Dutch after the Charlie XCX song.
Oh, wait, is that from Brad or is that a Brad?
Yes, that is from Brad. That is Brad Summer.
Oh my god!
And everyone was like, "Why didn't you?" Everyone was like, "Why didn't you name it fucking like Sympathy is a Knife?" Because it's obvious. And then I tell them, "It's not the knife." I tell them it's not the knife, it's the kunai, and they get mad.
that is stupid.
But it's not the knife, it's the kunai.
That is stupid. Yeah, isn't the really kunai isn't like a literal like or at least whatever that knife is supposed to be based off of? That's not technically a knife, right? Or am I just making
No, it's a gardening tool.
Oh, okay. I thought so. I was like, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody stab anybody with that in movies or whatever.
So in reality, it's like a shovel. You're killing people with a shovel. Oh my god, wait.
Oh.
Market gardening? Spike in market garden?
I mean, technically, if you jump down on someone's head and stab them, I guess technically.
Wait, so surf stabs are gardens, guys.
Oh my god.
Guys.
Soundsmith.
Guys, if you want to learn more about the Diamondback, please check out Spy Stereotypes. It has all the information you need, everything.
Spy Stereotypes. Yes.
What
would be a good nickname for it besides the one you came up with, which is like more personal, but like what's one that you think if you saw someone shoot you with that and you saw the nickname of their gun, you'd be like, that's pretty good. You haven't got any ideas?
I don't think I've ever seen a funny Diamondback. I think
me neither. It's
a
rare
don't think I've
weapon
ever
to see
seen
in general.
Because you originally asked what's the name of mine. Mine is
Oh yeah, you never told me. You told me your kunai.
I know. I was saying that I used to all have a theme, but even the Diamondback breaks the theme because instead I named it after the intro song to Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is science fiction double feature.
Oh. See what?
Because to me, the Diamondback is like futuristic. It was like always kind of like a ray gun kind of thing. So
future. I see. That's the relation. I see.
And the thing is, that like even though the Diamondback looks like shit, I always thought like it kind of looked like a future weapon. And the funny thing about Rocky Horror Picture Show is near the end of it, they got ray guns. They got like stupid little ray guns.
Oh, that'd be cool to nickname the capper that then. That's a ray gun.
That's
like
100%. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that would be an amazing name for a capper actually, but. No, that's what I have mine, which again breaks the theme because basically the rest of them are like jazz or swing names. Like I have my Spicicle that's named after a Chet Baker song. So the rest of them are on theme except for the kunai and the Diamondback, which I think are outliers anyway. So
I see. I can't for the life of me think of any good nicknames for the Diamondback.
If you can somehow put like a middle finger emoji into the name tag, that'd be a really good one for the Diamondback.
Didn't they recently update the game? Recently, meaning like a year ago. Didn't they recently update the game to allow like emojis to be used in the chat, or am I making that up? I could have sworn someone was showing that you could do that, but I have not seen anyone use emojis in chat ever. So I don't think it's real. I think it was just somebody like faking it. I think
it probably is.
I got tricked by misinformation.
Like you could probably get away with a Bitmoji. Because that was like the classic way of doing it. Because technically it's still using text to make a symbol.
What's the Apple, what's the one that Apple has where it's just like your avatar and like you can like sync your FaceTime to it?
Those are Bitmojis.
No. The like, you know how like you can make your face into
No, those
like
are Bitmojis. I was saying that the other one was those like AR ones? I don't fucking remember what those are called.
What are the Apple?
But no, I wanted to say Bitmoji is the wrong thing. Bitmoji is the
Memoji.
avatar thing.
Memoji,
yeah.
So they should put Memojis in TF2 is my point. Thoughts? All right, thanks for watching, guys.